Have you ever had that feeling when you're getting close to finishing an anime, you feel that just heartbreak in your heart because you know something good that you've been watching for a while is about to end? Well, that's how I'm feeling when I watch this episode of Steins Gate, episode 25, or OVA, either way you want to call this episode. I feel like I'm finally ending my journey on Steins Gate. And it's so upsetting because I have loved this series more than I thought. I mean, after looking past these past 24 episodes and just looking back at all the stuff that's happened, I realized how much I've enjoyed this series. And then watching episode 25, it just made me smile once again, getting to see these cast of characters in a new role, something past the entire tragedy events of, the first 24 episodes. Now, if you have yet to watch the OVA of Steins Gate, I do not recommend continuing on with this video because I do not want to spoil you. But in this episode, Steins Gate episode 25, or Steins Gate OVA, it continues the romance between Kurisu and Kyouma. And I love how this episode does that. It really just plays more on that factor because the way Steins Gate episode 24 ended, it wrapped up the overall plot with a bow. It wrapped everything up. But with this episode has some closure on the entire romance factor of the series. I mean, we get to see Suzuha's mother. This episode, we get to see glimpses of her and who Daru will eventually marry in the future. We also get to see pretty much the romance at the end with the kiss. Now, speaking of that kiss, we didn't technically get to see the kissing scene in this episode, and the reason why I know there was a kiss is because we had Kurisu say, "Close your eyes," and that's the exact thing we saw happen in episode 22 of Steins Gate. So I was like, oh, this is happening again. I was like doing, oh, it's so cute, it's gonna be so cute, because there's a sunset and all that, the music is beautiful, and then all of a sudden the Steins Gate opening song plays, it goes black screen, and I'm like, oh god, yeah, I was pissed because I wanted to see a kissing scene to end the fucking series. To end the freaking series, you go in the fucking black screen. Why the hell do they do that shit, okay? Oh, okay, that's my personal ranting right there. This was a fucking good episode. It was, okay? I love it. Overall plot, like I said, the plot's already been finished. This episode was meant to just wrap up the characters' developments. That's exactly what this OVA was. It had a lot of pretty much just comedy to it. We get to see all the cast of characters in this episode, which is good. They all play a certain spotlight, but it doesn't matter about that. This main episode focused on Kurisu and Kyouma, and I like that. It finally acknowledged the factor that Kurisu loved Kyouma, because if we remember from the timeline on episode 22, Kurisu would forget about it, and so I thought we were going to have to deal with this tragedy of, Kyouma not, being able to have a love life with Kurisu, but with this episode, we get to see that. So I feel like this OVA is needed, honestly. To the overall plot, I guess you could skip past this episode, but anyone that wants to see a conclusion on the romance of the main characters, I feel like should watch this episode. And what the hell? It's freaking Steins Gate. Who doesn't want to see Kyouma, mad scientist? Speaking of freaking Kyouma, the broken English. The broken English. I failed to mention it in my actual full series review, but I want to mention it now. The broken English of Kyouma is epic. He got arrested 2 times this freaking episode. 2 times! He got arrested 2 times! I mean, if you're shouting out, "I am mad scientist, chaos and invade," I'm like, what? Kyouma is so fucking epic. He's at the pinnacle of epic. He's one of the best scientists I've ever seen in an anime. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna miss these characters so much. After I finish this, review of the OVA, I'm definitely gonna go watch the movie right afterwards. I just, hopefully there's more conclusion on the reading style. That's one thing I do want to get answered. I do want that answered so much. That's the only problem I really have with Steins Gate that is left. But, overall, it's sad to see I'm finally coming to a closure on this series. So everybody, tell me your thoughts on this episode of Steins Gate, episode 25. Are you upset to see that this series, when you were watching it for the first time, if you've already watched it, are you upset to see that there's probably never going to be a continuation of this, and most likely we're never going to get to see anything else happen with these set of characters? Are you upset about that? Please let me know. All long-time fans of the Steins Gate series, do you feel upset because we know for a fact the story has concluded, these characters have been wrapped up, and there's no reason to really have continuation? Do you feel like it's saddening to see such an epic anime finally end? Please let me know in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.